Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for coming, everybody. This was an idea for having kind of like our first fall little get together. And I thought for this year, instead of having lots of big parties, I want to have a little more intimate parties in my house so people can get to know each other through the arts, through their love of music, philosophy, porcelain. And I've been collecting porcelain for 25 years. And primarily because I grew up using paper plates, and I come from a big Latino family, and they didn't have the resources for beautiful plates. So when I was watching movies and I saw these gorgeous plates that the movie stars were eating off of, these beautiful, sumptuous period movies, I go, oh, one day I need to have plates. That was like my thing, so I can have dinner parties. So bump up to recent times, I collect porcelain, and one of the retailers, or one of the what would you? You're a dealer. You're a porcelain dealer. So one of the dealers that I came in contact with is Mariana, and some of my favorite pieces, like I bought these. You bought those plates, and I bought the same plates. We're so gorgeous.
24 hours.
Yeah, within 20. Mariana and I bought the same plates within 24 hours. And then she had lots of other beautiful pieces, and then I saw that she was in Los Angeles. Because most of the dealers are in New York or in London or very far away. So I asked her, would it be okay if we went to your salon to look at some of your pieces in person? So she let us come, and she brought us several selections. And Miriam, you bought 2 of the sets during that time. And so we became friends because, wow, we got to meet another porcelain lover, which is a very rare person
yes,
to
it's
meet.
definitely rare.
Very few people understand porcelain, collect it, know what it is, or value it. So I thought I would ask her a few questions today as a lover of porcelain. So thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me, and I just want to say thank you for this beautiful luncheon.
Oh.
Everything was spectacular, the food was amazing, and you poured so much love and energy into it. I just want to thank you and Rock and everyone that helped with the luncheon.
Well, thank you very much. I was trying to use porcelain in the way that it's meant to be used back in the 18th and 19th century, and it's a really beautiful medium. I find it just looks pretty to me, and it looks collective when you have enough of it to have something like this today. So first of all, why do you love porcelain?
Why do I love porcelain? As you can see, there's so many variations, so many different artwork. It just you get gravitated towards each piece. It's an emotional connection. You get connected with history, the artists, the artisans who created each piece, and it lightens up your home. It's a beautiful talking piece or pieces. And it's fun when you're entertaining just like you did today, and you use so many variations in colors and giltware and layers upon layers. It brings so much life to the home.
You said something. When you see a piece of porcelain that you like, it's an immediate reaction, right?
Yes.
It's not a esoteric where you're thinking about it. You're studying it. It's like it hits you, like as if you fall in love, right?
You get the fastest heartbeat, and you say, "Oh my God, I need to get this to my home right away."
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
That's part of the things that sometimes you're like, "Oh my God, how can I get it?" Because it's very expensive, as we know. But it is one of those things, like how it's so, it makes you fall in love very quickly.
Yes.
So these are the pieces that you fell in love with. Can you tell us like why these pieces attract you so much?
So these are a few of my favorite pieces. These are all from the 19th century. They're all English porcelain. Most of them are from Minton, who was one of the prominent manufacturers back then. Minton was known for their beautiful turquoise blue, which we have. If you don't mind, I just want to show this amazing reticulated plate.
Wow.
This was one of their prominent colors. And this particular color was inspired by the Celeste blue from Sev. During during the Revolution, the owners of Minton, Thomas Minton, recruited many of the artists from Sev.
Oh, from France.
From France,
So after the
France.
revolution, there probably was not enough work for them, or
there was just an economical
Yeah.
issue, and
Yes.
many people just fled the country. Most of them ended up in England, and Thomas Minton recruited Leon Arnoux, who was a chemist and a designer.
Oh,
So
okay.
he actually created this specific turquoise
Okay,
blue,
I
which
see.
is they're so famous for.
You know what's really funny? Because I love the blue in Minton more than the blue in Sev's.
Mhm.
So whatever he took to England, he kind of juiced it up.
Yes.
It looks like you were in Bora Bora this week, so it looks like the ocean that
It
you were
does.
swimming
The
in.
most beautiful turquoise waters.
That's amazing.
So, Minton was founded in 1793
Oh,
by
okay.
Thomas Minton, so it goes way back. And they were known for their craftsmanship, the beautiful reticulated details, the hours that the craftsmen, the artisans took to be able to
Why do they
create
do
a
that?
plate.
Why would somebody want to cut holes in the plate?
Because it was such a laborsome task. It required so much skill. Just this one particular plate, for instance, you would have minimum of 6 individual trades that would work on it.
Wow.
You would have individuals that would have to actually design the plate. They would actually have to mold the plate. They would have to get a specific carver who would carve the plate.
Wow.
And you would have someone that would glaze the plate as such. So it required a special glazer. And you would have painters and enamelers and finishers. So just to create one piece of porcelain plate, you would have to go through these 6 steps of skilled individuals to be able to master something like this. And 6 is the minimum. I mean, when we're talking about some of the pieces that were commissioned by royals and elite families back in the Gilded Age, we're talking about 10, 15 skilled individuals that had to really master something like this.
Wow.
So that's what's really important for me, is the craftsmanship that goes into these pieces, and the time and the labor, how labor intensive it was, and how delicate these pieces are.
They are, because you hold them and you're so afraid to drop them.
Right.
It has that,
And-
like you're holding a baby.
And the turquoise color and the pink color, I'm going to use this as an example, these were the most difficult colors back then to obtain. During the firing process, it would highly likely, if they didn't get the right temperature while it went into the kiln, it would turn into like this brownish, grayish color.
Oh, really?
It would be
Oh,
a
how
really dull
horrifying.
color. So to have these 2 most difficult colors combined into one plate is just spectacular.
Wow.
It took, so Minton was known for their pinks and their turquoise.
This is electrifying because it really pops.
It's nice to see the 2 most difficult colors come alive together.
Wow.
Especially at the times when, of course, there were no chemical paints yet.
Yes.
This all had to be coming from nature and to figure out the chemical compositions to manipulate
Exactly.
to color.
Like for instance, the pink, I believe, they ended up using a little bit of gold inside to get that
Oh.
right vibrancy in the pink colors.
Wow.
And there's different minerals
Is
that
that
were
not
used.
Pompadour pink?
I'm
That
sorry?
particular shade, is that not Pompadour pink?
It is. It's very
Yeah.
close to Pompadour pink, yes. And here's 2 other examples of reticulated plates.
Wow.
And
Beautiful.
these are actually pierced plates. Someone asked me the other day, what's the difference between the reticulated and pierced plates? If you look at the back, you'll notice that this is pierced. There's just pierced holes,
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to maybe something like this that's reticulated. Even the reticulation process, I mostly gravitated towards reticulated and pierced plates because it was, again, such an intensive, laborsome process, from collecting the clay to forming the plate, whether it was on a mold or on a wheel. They had to have special trimmers to be able to trim these pieces, piercers to be able to pierce it, and then before it could actually be fired, it had to be in a very soft leather-like format where it was not too hard,
Wow.
not too soft, so that it wouldn't fall apart while it was
Wow.
going into the fire.
Just to
be
keep it like in
together.
shape without like accidentally moving it would be
Exactly.
very difficult to handle.
This something like this, or something like this, for example, would have probably been fired 3-4 times in the claims, because turquoise required a different temperature, pink required a different
Oh, I
temperature. So you had to put it in that heat multiple times at multiple different temperatures to be able to master something like this. Even when it was, let's say, the gilt work, you had to put it back into the kiln to be able to get this to stick onto the plate.
Who were the people using these kind of plates? Were they
Noble families,
All
aristocratic families. Like for example, this particular
Oh,
piece,
this is
I
cool.
love this piece because this was done by Antoine Boulimier, who was a famous artist for Minton. He was recruited by our new Leon Arnoux.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay,
trying to remember his
okay.
first name. Leon Arnoux, who was the chemist and he was the designer at Minton. He was also recruited by Leon Arnoux, and this particular plate is very unique because he's also a French artist. He was born in France, and his father worked at Sèvres, and he was a master gilder
Oh, I
at
see.
Sèvres.
Wow.
So he got recruited, and he also trained at Sèvres.
So he did the gilding or the painting?
He did the painting,
Okay.
and what's so unique about this particular painting is because you have his signature.
Mhm.
You also have the initial, these letters INV, which means that he actually designed the artwork, he created the entire scene, and he finished it. So highly likely this was a singular piece.
Wow.
There was no duplicate
Wow.
or replica of this piece because of the signature and the initials at the end. And what's really nice about this one, because they go back 3 generations,
Oh, beautiful.
this is hand painted by his son. So this is painted by his son, Lucien Boumier. And his son was a football player in the late 19th century, early 20th century. He was taught how to paint by his father. And to be able to have a piece to know that it went back 2 generations, you have father and son, is just really special.
That's amazing.
Lucien Boumier painted 2 portraits of Queen Victoria.
Oh, really?
And on ceramic plates.
Oh, on wow.
ceramic plates. So he was known for creating classical scenes, as such.
Where are the portraits of her?
I actually looked that up and it's nowhere to be found.
Oh, really?
But
Oh,
he is known for
okay.
painting 2 portraits of her.
Probably private collection.
Yeah,
So-
probably. There's
so-
so many pieces in
So
private collection.
these are not meant to be eaten off of, or these would be treated like paintings and hung on the wall, or how would they be used?
Normally when there's paintings in the center of the plate, they're more for display use in a china cabinet, on a stand, or like you earlier had your plate setting displayed. You would display it on a table setting, take it away, or you would let everyone enjoy the beautiful
And then
artwork,
put the
take
cheap
it
stuff
away,
in.
and then you would actually place your serverware that has more of a blank surface. It
Yes,
doesn't have
that's
any
right,
artwork
yeah.
on it. Another piece I just want to really quickly show, if I could just come back here, is this really unique vibrant plate, which may or may not be by Christopher Dresser, who was, maybe many of you know or don't know, who was a famous independent artist and designer. He never signed his work. So any of the Christopher Dresser porcelain that you come across, you won't know if it's really his or not, unless it was registered,
Okay.
and because he didn't sign his work. This is also a Minton product, and
So the gilding is spectacular too.
it is. It has the 20, 22, 24 karat gold, the platinum, the beautiful turquoise glaze that was so difficult to come across, vibrant flower colors. This particular piece also has the back glazed in
Oh,
turquoise,
wow.
which is
Oh.
really cool because the most unique pieces that were meant for like display and showcases would get glazed in the back. So let's say if you were to put it on a stand, it would just give it this luminous look.
Oh, I see.
Or if it was maybe in one of your china cabinets that has a mirrored lining. It just gives it this vibrancy that the plate actually deserves.
Beautiful.
So, and this kind of also reminds me of a like a cloisonne style. Minton
Yes.
was known for its, like around 1860s to 1870s. They made quite a few cloisonne style china.
Is that because they were getting influenced by Asian
The
movement?
aesthetic movement,
Oh,
the
okay.
Japonism style. Christopher Dresser was known to be an artist of the aesthetic movement.
I see.
So it's really nice to have a piece like this that's just so unique. And what's really nice is for it to be in this condition. I mean, these are going back to 100, 150 years ago.
That's
So
amazing.
to be able to have something with no chips, no cracks, no crazing,
People should have paid their scullery maid better.
they should have had what?
They paid the scullery maid better.
The
Yes.
scullery bead.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But really, it's very tactile. When you can see all that gold and platinum is really raised off of the plate.
Yeah.
Right.
You can really feel the thickness of the material. Beautiful.
And so this and this is just another example of another a pierced plate, beautiful lattice work. This is
That's
just a
stunning.
nice variation to see the different styles and.
But so, is this like a commission by somebody to paint their dogs on the plate?
Many of the times pieces were commissioned by families to have certain scenes painted.
I see.
Yeah.
That would be so nice to have that.
And then, just want to share
But yeah,
one.
because the hunting lodge doesn't want to have the prime residence dishes.
Oh,
The hunting
yes.
lodge
Oh,
want
so
to
that's
have
right. The cuts, yes.
dishes.
Okay, so I was very fortunate to find 10 of these while we were traveling a few years back to France. I found this at a small little boutique shop.
Really?
And the person that was there said, "Oh, I don't know if I could sell this to you. I'm just here temporarily covering for the owner. I don't think I could sell it." I'm like, "No way, this is coming home with me." So I was fortunate enough to be able to get 10 of them. On my way out, my eye on the corner of my eye, I found the 11th one. All the way stuck underneath, like maybe 12, a set of 12 plates. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that looks very familiar. It might be the same set." Part of the same set, sure enough it was. So I found 11 plates. When I got back home, a few months passed and I did some research. Lucky enough, I found a 12th plate. I was fortunate to bring everything back
Oh,
together,
wow.
and that's how I collect. When I collect, I love bringing pieces back home together. I feel like they just belong together.
Wow.
So
That's
this is a
amazing.
really unique piece because, as you can see, it's gilded in the back. It has the gilded stamp of Minton.
Beautiful.
And this is a 24 karat gold gildware, and it was highly commissioned work by
Wow.
a noble family. This was done commissioned by Gilman and Collmore, who was a prominent retailer in New York. And
This would have been like for the Gilded Age, for the super rich Americans.
super
yeah.
rich Americans. It was commissioned to be sold from Gilman and Collmore retailer in New York, and 24 karat gilding were typically used for plates that were meant for display.
Oh,
The 24 karat gilding was known for it to be a soft gold, so it was very delicate and it would not hold up well if it was being used. Many times for porcelain to be used, they would use 18 to 22 carats, and they would mix some silverware or copper
Oh,
inside,
wow,
so that it
okay.
made it much more hard, stronger and harder.
That's why it's so golden in the back.
Yeah, so it gives it like this golden.
Yes, like a treasure.
Exactly. So it gives it this really nice glow. Something like this would have been either, again, commissioned by a very prominent aristocratic family, or maybe an exhibition piece and for display use.
Can I ask you a question on when these people commissioned it for their own mansion or their chateau or wherever they were, they're the first buyer of it, so they have to pay all of the cost of the workers and the gold and all the materials. So do you feel that they actually paid more for it back then than we would today? I don't know what that plate costs today, but
Well, I think so,
Yeah.
because the cost of material back then was so much higher.
Yeah.
To be able to find the material and to have the skilled artisans to to create these were.
So if
a
we
lot
buy
more
today,
expensive.
it's more of a deal,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And dealers are always happy to make deals, so there is no price set in stone where this is the price.
What
Dealers
is the
love.
range? I'm just curious.
See, how much does a place like something like that cost?
Um,
Or probably depends
okay,
if-
so I know there's something like this. You're looking at anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 just for one plate. If it's signed, maybe even more.
What about the gold?
This piece, it depends. Is it being sold as a set? Is it being sold by itself? Like
Yes,
I'm a
completely.
dealer, as a set, this would be retailed at 50,000. To have a set at 12.
So the more that you have,
course,
the
that's
more
so
expensive they get.
Because you can't find sets.
Right.
It would, the more you have, actually, you can negotiate on the price and have them
Okay.
at a much more reasonable price. But sometimes when you have like master guild work like this, where you can't negotiate
No,
really
yeah.
on the price. It's just
Right.
a masterpiece, so it is what it
Right.
is, you know. And then I also wanted to talk about Royal Wooster, who was a great manufacturer at the time in England. Royal Wooster had a artist by the name of George Owen, who was a very famous porcelain creator, and he was known for creating these honeycomb-like holes. It's called the double-walled cup, which was a very difficult piece to create, and no one has ever been able to master this design.
It's like a veil all the way around it that's pierced, and then you can see into the next layer of porcelain.
He primarily worked alone, so no one ever really saw how he created these pieces, and all of his pieces are very unique. He used to be commissioned per piece, so he was paid per
Oh,
object
okay.
as opposed to having a salary, where Antoine Beaumier was one of the highest paid artists at the time. He was earning 400 pounds a year. But George Owen was compensated based on per piece that he created. And he actually has a celebrated piece at the Royal Worcester Museum called the Owen Vase,
The Owen Vase.
which has close to approximately 5,300 individual holes, like hexagon holes,
Wow.
similar to this one, 5,300. It's a large vase that had to go into the kiln and to get fired, and something like that would very easily just collapse because it's so
The
delicate.
technicality, I can't imagine what goes into
Right.
making a double-walled porcelain.
I know. And most of the time he would finish his own work, but sometimes like for a piece like this, it has the artist's, the finisher's initials. So he would maybe have someone finish the glaze work, the enamel detail and things like that. But he created all of his honeycomb designs.
Do you actually drink out of that?
Not out of this one. Not out of this particular piece, but I do use my china.
You do, okay.
I do drink coffee, tea. I love to use them, and I think I told you I don't own anything new in my home,
Oh.
other than maybe some of my newer vases and
Michael Aaron.
crystals. But I don't have nothing against
No,
Michael
Michael
Aaron,
Aaron.
but I don't have anything like that.
Wow.
I don't own anything like that. And then I brought this set
Wow.
with me, which I thought is so unique. And this is like a breakfast set for one.
Oh.
And it has its plate, it has its side dish, coffee cup, creamer,
It looks like a Botticelli, that one plate. Looks like.
It does.
and then the sugar bowl.
Oh, wow.
This was made by Copeland Spode, who was Spode at the time. The Spode was established like in the late 1700s. They mastered bone china.
Botticelli.
So they mastered bone china. They were known for providing their porcelain to royal families, and this piece is really unique because of its detail. I mean,
What,
the-
just quickly, what's, there's porcelain and there's bone china. What's the difference?
Well, bone china is just the ingredients that's inside the bone china. It's
Okay.
just the crushed animal bone.
Oh, okay.
There's crushed animal bone that's turned into powder, and you have your kaolin, which is your clay, and it's just other materials. raw
Okay, so
materials.
it's the British version of
Bone
Chinese.
china is more see-through, isn't
Yes, it's more translucent.
okay.
It's much finer.
Lighter.
It's a lot thinner. If you held it up against the light, you're able to see through
Oh, I
it.
see.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is really unique because, I mean, the detail is just exceptional on this one. Meticulously enameled, various colors. It took someone so much patience and precision to be able to master something like this.
This looks like something like from Esfahan in the 14th century, doesn't it? Doesn't it have a Persian design?
I love how well informed you are.
No, it really does. Like I feel like seeing this.
Paul, you have another talent. You can make a podcast. This is so amazing. Seriously, it's like we are
Yeah, it
watching
is. It's
a
fascinating.
professional.
And when you look at these closely, you can really appreciate the detail and the amount of like time and energy and precision that went into these pieces. They were so meticulously done that you really appreciate the history that comes with it.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So that's
So why? What is it that people should know if they want to enter the world of porcelain? And first of all, it's beautiful. So it's like having jewelry for your table, and it makes everything look. Anything you cook makes everything look even more beautiful.
Yes.
So that's always a wonderful thing. But also they're like works of art, aren't they? Because
They are.
they take so many craftsmen in many fields to create just that one dish. So you're looking at a handful of artists to do one piece. So it is like collecting art, but for the table. But what if people were going to start collecting porcelain? What are the most important factors for a beginner collector to take into consideration?
I would say, buy what you love, not what I may like or what you may like or what you may have and how you've displayed your pieces. Buy what you love. Buy what you're drawn to, whether it's the color, whether it's the enamel work, whether you like the artwork. So buy what you love so that you have it forever. And, as I was collecting over the years, I've been collecting for over 20 years now. I've noticed a shift in my collection.
Really?
Yes.
To
So, when I started collecting, I was collecting Limoges and French porcelain and German porcelain. And then over the years, I noticed that my collection is gravitating towards fine English porcelain
Wow.
with the reticulated details. So every time I would come across something that had something in this form, I would get drawn into
This is
it.
particularly English, right? I don't think French or German, maybe Pergenhammer, but this is a primarily English porcelain art form, right?
It
With
is.
the reticulation and the pierce.
It is. Most of these plates actually have a diamond registry embossed on it, which indicates that the date that it was
I
made,
see.
that it can't be reproduced by other manufacturers, and no other manufacturer could replicate this reticulation. So it was like a patent or a protection for Minton in this instance.
A quick question. How do people go to the store or to a dealer and they say, oh, it's a beautiful piece, and let's say it's a little pricey. They go, well, how do I know it's not a fake? This is like always the first thing people ask me, well, what I collect. How did you know that it wasn't a fake?
Well,
How do you
over
answer that?
time, I mean, it's just over time, the more you touch, the
Yeah.
more you feel, the more you start researching each back stamp and what it means and what era, what time period it was made. You just start learning. I'm self-taught, so there's no formal school setting where you sit down and you're
Well,
taught all the steps.
it doesn't seem like you can fake anything like this because
Right.
it's so intricate and so.
There are great artisans now. Like I have a friend that works at the Dutchess Museum who reached out to me recently, and his work is phenomenal.
He does porcelain?
He does porcelain for the Dutchess Museum, for the Dutchess factory in England, and he's a master painter. So I could see why it would be difficult to, as a starter, to be able to know what's real and what's not. But as soon as you start, really looking carefully at the detail, you start appreciating the tiniest of details, the back stamps, and you just get more comfortable and confident on what's authentic and what's not. So,
Beautiful.
So these are a stamp, or they do the brush on top of that? Or?
various time periods have various back stampings. Some of them don't even have any stamps, believe
Even
it
the
or not.
painting?
Which painting?
The
Oh, you want to know if they're decals or they're hand
Yeah.
painted? Yeah, decals or hand painted.
Some of them are decals, some of them are hand painted. So it just depends on the
like the
time
one that
period.
you showed us, the father and the son.
These were signed by the artist inside in the front.
So these are all
But on the
hand-painted.
back side, they're actually stamped.
No, I mean, yeah.
So I know that this particular stamp is Mintons stamp based on research, and I can date back to when it was actually made, which was 1872.
So if we're gonna buy a plate that has a portrait or a painting on it, how do we know if it's hand painted or a decal? Are there telltale signs?
For the scene in the front? Or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stamp?
For the no, for the
You,
scene.
believe it or not, you're able to see the brush strokes.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
if you look at this particular one,
So you
I
have
don't
to,
know if you
like,
want to
yes,
maybe
yeah.
pass it down, you can actually see
Yes.
the
Oh,
brush
you can-
strokes
yes, you
of
can
if
see
it
the-
being hand painted, or even
If
this
you
piece here.
flick of the light, you can see how the paint is thicker and thinner at different
Oh, yeah.
areas. So a decal doesn't do that. See the thickness of the darker.
Good thing is that the royalty usually had a lot of pieces like 40 plus.
Yes.
So if you find 12 now,
So just look at that.
of course, we can have all the accompanying pieces to go with it.
True.
I know, I saw you
We're ready for that.
for size.
That's why he's saying that.
Does anybody have any questions for Mariana before we're gonna move on to dessert?
I have a question. So basically, like, say for instance, does the company, like, for myself, I live in Atlanta, so say for instance, if I was interested in buying one, would they be able to ship it out of state? Or like, if